They released a lot of emails a week ago, and I don't know if you dug in. But apparently, Trump and Bill Clinton Trump-related Bill Clinton, guys. Trump blew Bill. Bubba, yes, sorry. Bubba. Let's stay true to the story, okay? Allegedly, Trump blew a guy or somebody named Bubba. Well, relax. Let me do the jokes, okay? Suddenly you guys have a personality? I literally spent an hour warming you up to this point, not for you to these jokes up. Who is Bubba? Who is Bubba? So now we have this situation, okay? Bubba Gate. Where we're trying to figure out who is this Bubba that Trump blew, okay? Now, for the context, I know not all of you follow this okay? They released a bunch of emails from Jeffrey Epstein, okay? There was an email thread where Jeffrey Epstein was talking with his brother, Mark Epstein, okay? Which is like, bro, just change your name already. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to keep the Epstein legacy going. Like, my advice to anybody in this world named Epstein, like, Edwards is a good alternative, you know? Go Smith, you know? Go Mamdani if you want something new. Just change it up. You don't have to stick with Epstein. And so Mark Epstein, brother of Jeffrey Epstein, they're emailing together. This was in 2018. They were emailing back and forth. And Mark emails Jeffrey and he's like, hey, how's your pre-diabetes going? Because, yeah, a little new tidbit of information. Apparently, Jeffrey Epstein had pre-diabetes. Probably from all the sugar hanging out with those kids. No. Okay. We don't know, but probably. Now, Jeffrey Epstein then responds. He says, I'm with Bannon right now. Okay, which nothing ever good comes from that statement. You know what I mean? And then Mark responds, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Okay, let's unpack this statement real quick because there's a lot going on here. Okay, but everybody's been hyper fixated on the Trump blowing Bubba part. That's obviously the operative part of that sentence. Okay, first of all, who the fuck is Bubba? Okay, and everybody's first guess is Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton's nickname is Bubba. He's a Southern boy. His name starts with Bill. In the South, you just basically call anybody Bubba. Okay? He's the most famous Bubba. Okay? And so, presumably, we would think that it's Bill. Now, obviously, a lot of people's minds are like, wait a second. Like, I don't think that would happen. Bill's a Democrat. Trump's a Republican. It just doesn't seem like a good match. They're not compatible, right? But this email is being thrown around all over the internet, and people are showing it with a picture. You may have seen this picture. It's a photo of the time that Trump and Bubba were golfing together. And there's a photo where Trump is like leaning in and grabbing Bill's junk as a joke. So you put that photo next to the email, you're like, oh, that happened. And the thing is, and then once you see that picture, and then you know the history of Bill Clinton. Like, he's not a guy to turn down a blowjob. You know what I'm saying? Right? That happens. You see that, you're like, oh shit, actually I can conceive of a world where that, because these politicians, they're all sick you know what I mean? So maybe Trump did blow Bubba. Okay, yeah, I can now conceive it happening after seeing that picture. There's also this tweet floating around from 2016 where Trump, he says, how can Hillary satisfy America? She can't even satisfy her husband. Yeah, it's a real tweet. Look it up. Look it up. Now, yeah. Now, obviously, you see that, you're like, oh, this is one of those inflammatory things that Trump says. But after hearing this information, you see him saying it differently, like she can't even satisfy her husband. She can't even satisfy her husband like a real man. So like that's when you're like, oh, you know, maybe this did go down. Okay, but everybody's been hyper fixated on this narrative that Trump blew Bill Clinton. If this is true, how are the history books going to explain this? And that you're really going to have to use some euphemisms, you know. So I wrote a few. Okay. They could say that Trump he worked with the Democrats to create more jobs. That he went south of Little Rock, Arkansas. He learned how to play Bill's saxophone. He Lewinsky's boss. Just like Hillary's emails, he was a private server. He gave him the B.J. Clinton. He drained the swamp. He deep state throated him. He blew no matter who. He did it for Israel. He gave him the Iron Dome. And then when asked, Bill Clinton was like, I did not have sexual relations with that president. He did it once. I didn't inhale. Actually, I saw a video. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is real. But it was a video where a reporter asked Bill Clinton about this. Yeah. If it's real, oh my God, it's perfect. So, you know, Bill Clinton, he's getting older, all the nuts he's busted. He's so old. And the reporter goes, what do you have to say about these accusations that Trump gave you fellatio? And Bill leans in and he goes, I was like, oh, he did it, dude! He did it! After the internet went crazy for like 3 days, Mark Epstein had to put out a public statement clarifying, hey guys, we were not talking about Bill Clinton. Right? And that's all he said. Like he didn't say who it was. He said Bubba is referring to someone else who y'all don't know, basically. He was just like, you don't even know Bubba like we do. So now we have to figure out who the is Bubba. Okay, now just because Mark Epstein said it doesn't mean we believe it. Okay, Mark Epstein also said, I wasn't on the island. We're now trying to figure out who Bubba is, okay? We don't have a lot to work with, because there's not a lot of Bubbas outside of Forrest Gump, you know? So allegedly, Ghislaine Maxwell owns a horse named Bubba. I did not confirm this. This is a rumor provided by the internet that Ghislaine Maxwell, famous sex trafficker and daughter of Robert Maxwell, has a horse named Bubba. Okay? And so there's people on the internet who are actually defending Trump putting this information out there. They're like, Trump did not blow Bill Clinton. That's disgusting. It was Ghislaine Maxwell's horse. Okay? Y'all can relax. It was just Ghislaine Maxwell's horse named Bubba. Yeah. If for a moment you think that this is not possible, hold your horses, okay? Politicians are weird, man. Politicians are weird as okay? And to all the naysayers, okay? I'm just saying, the 2016 election was Stallion. I know, this whole thing's gonna give me a nightmare, but either way, if it was Ghislaine Maxwell's horse, Mossad, for sure. You know that horse is an Israeli spy, dude. You know that horse went up to Trump and was like, come here. How much do you love Israel? How much do you love Israel? Okay, this is the grossest part of the set. I'm forewarning you. You know I'm not normally a blue comic, but this is about the Democrats, so. I know we don't want to think about Trump giving fellatio, but you gotta admit, he's got big lips. Okay, listen. You've seen those lips. You've seen that duck face. I have the greatest lips. Okay. So I'm just saying, if anybody's gonna successfully blow a horse, like I said, dirtiest part, but hey, horse cock, horse lips. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, but let's move forward. Let's heal. Because people are so fixated on who's Bubba, but like, look at the email. It says, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. So forget even a moment about Trump blowing Bubba. Putin saw the whole thing with his own eyes. And you wonder why nobody's able to stop him. You know what I mean? Like, Trump's like, I'm gonna end the war with Russia, Ukraine. He gets on the phone, he's like, hey, Putin. He's like, yeah, I still got the photos. Okay. He's like, yes, I missed that sound. Putin has those photos, dude. And it's unfortunately cost them Crimea, but sensitive subject. But yeah, Putin has the photo. And then we look at the email. It says, ask Bannon. So like, let's follow the chain of command here. Bannon is the one who knows whether Putin has the photos or not. Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba, who we don't know. So if you want to know who Bubba is, we have to ask Bannon to ask Putin to give us the photos. And then we'll know who Bubba is, okay? This all comes down to how sick the information in the Epstein files is. And we're gonna get it one day. I know we the people, even if we have to January 6th the Capitol. Hey, it's not as bad when it's you who wants to do it. We got to get that information because this is the epitome of how sick these people are. Especially presidents of the United States. They're all sick. So now we know Donald Trump is a pedophile. He sucks horse's dick. And we thought Joe Biden was creepy. He's just sniffing girls' hair, which is horrible. But like, God, like what? Like, oh my God, like pick your poison. And then Obama, you know, there is even allegations that he one time gave fellatio for some drugs. And I'm not going to put that rumor out, but he did drone strike Syria. So I'm going to put that rumor out, okay? Okay? And then Bill Clinton was Bill Clinton. So it really just makes you appreciate George W. Bush like a little bit. Just like a little bit. I know, horrible person, invaded Iraq, Afghanistan, but like family man. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't out there at these freak-offs, you know what I mean? He was at home doing art. So yeah, these people are just weird, but it's like, you know, anytime you like start to mention now, because Trump obviously, I heard, this is somebody else's comment, not mine, but somebody's like, Trump isn't in the Epstein files, Epstein's in the Trump files. That is so valid, dude. Because Trump's got such a sleazy past. Like, we know he's in that shit. We know he's involved. And anytime you mention this, his stands are still like, well, you know, the Democrats are in there too. Like, yeah, they're all fucking sleazebags, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. All these motherfuckers are implicated. And when Bill Clinton was president, Jeffrey Epstein visited him 17 times. 17, that's their favorite number actually. 17 times Jeffrey Epstein visited Bill Clinton, okay? So like all of these people are implicated. They're all horrible. They all need to be locked up, put behind bars. And in order to do that, we have to get the Epstein files. And who has the Epstein files? I know exactly who has the Epstein files. It's Bubba, okay? Bubba is the fucking main boss. Think about it. Follow the chain of command. Steve Bannon has the intel on Putin having the photos. So Putin is in charge because he has the photos, but Putin is not the president of the United States. The president of the United States is one of the highest in the chain of the command of the world, but the highest chain of the command of the world was sucking Bubba's dick. So who the fuck is Bubba? Is it Satan himself? It's BB. That's who it is. It's BB. Bubba is a euphemism for BB because they don't want to put BB in the email. It's BB. Boo-boo. Boo-boo. Or the whatever noise Trump made when he was doing it. It's boo-boo. So BB has it. We know this. Jeffrey Epstein was connected to Israel. He was connected to Mossad. The only excuse I could hear on saying, oh, Jeffrey Epstein didn't work for Mossad is because Mossad worked for Jeffrey Epstein. That's literally the only excuse I will take. But we already know he was directly connected. He inherited, he got all this money when he met Ghislaine Maxwell. And Ghislaine Maxwell was the daughter of Robert Maxwell, who was a known Mossad agent, known Mossad. And when he died, and it was a very normal death, he mysteriously fell off his yacht. And Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine suddenly had a lot of money to buy cameras and film the fucking world doing blackmail shit, okay? So yeah, very normal story, okay? But we all should know by now that Epstein was collecting intel. He was working for a lot of different people, but we know he was working for Israel for sure. He was buddy-buddy with Ehud Barak, former prime minister of Israel, who was not only an abuser, complicit with Epstein, but also they are working together on a massive surveillance project to literally surveil the whole entire world. So that's the crazy thing. We're going to get to the Epstein files, and we're going to see ourselves there. We're like, oh shit, they have pictures of us too. That's me on the toilet, right next to fucking Trump blowing Bubba. So we know this shit traces back to Israel, but unfortunately this is not common knowledge because the media is terrified to touch this with a 10-foot pole. And there's all these journalists out there like talking about Epstein, the Epstein files, and the Epstein, the abusers, and the victims, and great, but like if you're not mentioning Israel in your coverage of Epstein, you're not telling the whole story. You're not telling the whole story. It's disingenuous. Like, telling the Epstein story without mentioning Israel is like explaining babies being delivered by using storks. You know what I mean? It's like you're living in a fucking fairy tale. Okay, Epstein was working with Mossad. He was collecting intel on a lot of powerful people, and now they're leveraging it to keep Israel doing fucking genocide around the world. Okay, so let's be real here and just understand that Bubba is BB. Okay, Bubba is BB, all right? Like it almost makes too much sense, okay? Because, what's that?
He pushes in his chair for it.
Yes, exactly. If you look at all the people that Trump interacts with and you say, whose dick would he suck? Look at the way he treats BB when he visits DC. BB flies into DC, he's like, oh, you want to do your laundry? Come here. Oh, you want me to push you in the chair? Push you. Like it's such like dick suck energy. And I don't know if you know, you've seen that Trump, his health condition is not great. He has bruises. You see, there's bruises all over his hands. They're all over his hands. And then the week he met with BB, they were all over his knees. So you can see the proof is there. Bubba is BB. Baby.